The spring of 1991 inches Valdosta, Georgia, was a time of unlocked doors and the simple, authentic American dream. 6-year-old Lily Moore was the heart of that dream, a bright-eyed first grader with blonde pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. Her parents, David and Sarah, lived a modest life on Magnolia Street, where neighbors knew every child by name. On April 17th, the routine was as familiar as a ritual. Sarah dropped Lily at school, kissed her goodbye, and expected to see her at a neighbor's house later that afternoon. But somewhere between the school steps and the walk home, the world stopped. Lily vanished without a sound, leaving behind only the cold scent of a trail that went dead near Woodlawn Park. The injustice gripped the community instantly as the search fanned out into the dense Georgia woodland. Investigators found nothing, no ransom demands, no physical evidence, and no witnesses. The case eventually slid into the agonizing silence of a cold case, leaving David and Sarah frozen in a moment of unimaginable grief for 23 years. While Sarah kept Lily's room as a shrine, David threw himself into work to drown out the guilt. They lived in a liminal space, existing as parents to a ghost, never realizing that Lily was breathing and growing under a different name in a different state. Hundreds of miles away in North Carolina, a young woman named Emma Wilson lived a life built on a foundation of sophisticated deception. Raised by her father, Robert Wilson, she was told her mother had died in childbirth and that the outside world was too dangerous for a traditional education. Robert was loving but strict, creating a prison without bars through homeschooling and emotional manipulation. Emma had no memory of her life before Robert. She only had fragments of dreams, a swing set, a stuffed rabbit, and a woman with kind eyes, which Robert dismissed as the echoes of stories he had told her. The structure of Emma's reality began to fracture when Robert was diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's. In his confused state, the mask slipped. He began calling her Lily and mumbling apologies for taking her, claiming he just wanted a daughter. Haunted by these slips, Emma waited until Robert was hospitalized after a stroke to search for the truth. On a cold case website, she saw a face that mirrored her own, 6-year-old Lily Moore, missing since 1991. In a final, agonizing moment of clarity at his hospital bedside, Robert whispered the truth. He had stolen her. The confirmation came through a DNA match that bridged a 23-year void. Emma Wilson was definitively Lily Moore. The reunion in an Atlanta FBI office was a landscape of shock and tears. Sarah recognized her daughter's eyes, while Lily looked at her parents as complete strangers. But as the families began the long, delicate process of healing, a darker history emerged. Robert Wilson hadn't chosen Lily at random. He was the doctor whose wife and child were killed instantly in a car accident caused by David Moore years earlier. While David had survived that crash with a broken spine and the weight of a horrific mistake, the doctor had lost his entire world. Driven by untreated grief and a mind broken by tragedy, Robert had watched David's family from the shadows. He didn't take Lily to be a monster. He took her as a calculated, twisted replacement for the life David's negligence had cost him. Lily was forced to reconcile her love for the man who raised her with the fact that he was her family's greatest tormentor. Today, she navigates a life shaped by two identities. A survivor reclaiming a name that was stolen as a debt for a tragedy she never knew existed.